Welcome back to the On the Go podcast, man. I am one of your hosts, Jimmy, and we have a special guest in the building by the name of Skip Drayless. How you doing today, brother?
I'm good, my friend. What's up? I'm glad to be here.
Awesome. What's good, E?
What's good, guys? Man, we got Skip Drayless in the building, baby. We about to get some scorching hot takes, and I'm here for it. I can't wait.
I'm here for it, man. Tyler and Chris couldn't be with us tonight, but we definitely gonna hold it down. We brought up Dre a lot in the past couple of episodes, and finally made his appearance. So I'm excited to have Dre tonight, man. Really excited. So without further ado, let's get craziness on the road. Let's start off with your boy Aaron Rodgers, dog. Why he throwing his wide receivers under the bus? What's the deal?
I think it's because he knows that he messed up not letting Davante Adams know he was coming back. You know, Davante Adams came out and said, like, hey, you know, Aaron Rodgers' indecisiveness is the reason why I'm in Las Vegas with my college quarterback. So I think he's kind of really deep down kicking himself. You know, obviously he can't say, hey, you know, I miss, you know, Davante Adams, because he would literally throw his receiving core under the bus more than he's already has. So it's a disaster in Green Bay. With that being said, first hot take, I think Matt LaFleur should be on the hot seat.
Bro, what?
Because I think he should be on the hot seat because you've knowingly neglected the wide receiver position for his tenure. And now you get rid of Davante. You let Davante Adams walk, and you're banking on a bunch of rookies to fill the shoes. And none of them, even Romeo Doubs. Romeo Doubs had 4 targets and 4 drops this past Sunday. So, you know, this is on you. If I'm that VP of football operations, I'm calling him in my office like, hey man, you know, in November, you know, in the middle of November by Thanksgiving, if we 3-7, I mean, that's just my take on it.
It's kind of like the chicken and the egg situation, because it's like, okay, did the Packers not give Aaron Rodgers what he needed first, or was Aaron Rodgers in and out of retirement first? Which was it?
I mean, that's a good question. I think to Dre's point, I don't think anybody understands why they've neglected the position for so long. Like, okay, you don't want to draft one in the first round. Go trade for one. Juju Smith was on the market. He signed in Kansas City for, $8 million. He's probably going to get paid really nicely this offseason. You missed out on him. And then you went get Sammy Watkins, who can't stay on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Like, DJ Moore is out there right now. NFC's wide open. Why hasn't the phone been picked up? It probably has, and we just don't know about it, right? But
we hope.
we hope. But DJ Moore's out there. Hell, Elijah Moore is out there. You can go get one of them right now, for the right price, and automatically give them a number one. And there's no slight at Lazard. I think Lazard's done a great job this year, but he's not a number one.
No.
Right.
He's a nice number two.
Two, yeah.
But
I agree.
You got to go get a number one. And then, look at what the Vikings did. And I know the Packers have been way better than the Vikings the past few years. The Vikings traded Diggs away. And you know what they did with that first round pick? They drafted his replacement.
Right.
They literally went to draft his replacement. And it's been a seamless transition.
Well, hey, look, I'm gonna add on to that. The only reason they drafted him because the Eagles scouted for Jalen Reagor. Which one? Was it Jalen Reagor?
It was.
Yeah,
Jalen
I think
Reagor.
it was Jalen. Yeah, scouted Jalen Reagor. That's like, man. But I'm gonna say this. Another reason why the Packers are out of sync. They're stopping running the ball. And here's the thing. when you had Devontae Adams did not know the playbook. He would just run routes, and Aaron Rodgers would be so in sync with him, and that would produce big numbers. Well, you have these rookies and Aaron Lazard who don't have that same football IQ as Devontae Adams, so they can't make the same cuts. They can't make the same audibles with A-Rod. They can't, they don't have that chemistry, and they won't have that chemistry because A-Rod decided to not go to training camp with the rookies. If you a veteran quarterback and you a future Hall of Fame quarterback, you've lost a future Hall of Fame receiver. You have to build a relationship with your rookies. Man, I would have been at that rookie symposium with them guys. Like, hey, look, this is how we do things. This is the Packer way. This is why we've been to back-to-back, NFC championship games. This is why I've won, 3-4 MVPs, however much it's been. This is why we do things there. He didn't do that. It's like, this it's kind of getting to the point where Aaron Rodgers is like Booby Miles from Friday Night Lights. I don't need to practice. I don't need to train. I don't need to watch tape. I just show up. And when, you get 50% of him showing up and you ain't getting no percentage of anybody else showing up, you're garbage. And you go on national TV and you throw your receiving core under the bus. And it makes you look bad.
That's real. That's real. I don't think we can say anything further on that other than just Aaron Rodgers need to stay the hell off of Jeopardy.
Yeah. Stay off of Jeopardy. Stay off the the psychedelics he's taking. Stop drinking. Stop drinking the water at his crib, at his mansions. Just stop, bro. Like stop, bro.
Yeah. I think the offensive line and the wide receivers probably getting them Kentwood water, Christmas or something.
Yeah. Hey Aaron, we noticed you ain't been playing well. What kind of water you drinking? Oh, I'm drinking straight Dasani, with the chemicals in it.
Golly, bro. Man, you know what? Let's keep it in that same division. It's kind of bouncing between two divisions, but the Bears actually traded Robert Quinn to the Eagles for a 4th round draft pick. What does it say about what the Eagles are doing?
Howie Roseman is on some psychotic hypnosis shit. How did Robert Quinn only go for a 4th round pick?
I don't know. He got pictures.
Like,
yeah.
I mean, between him and the Braves GM, I don't know how they keep making these deals and getting away with it. I don't know if the NFL needs to investigate. Maybe I'm just salty because they, fleeced the Saints out of a first. I don't know. But, I mean, it's like Super Bowl or bust for the Eagles. You make that move, you saying, hey, look, we going to the Super Bowl. That is the moves he's been making, like, he's GM of the year in my book. I mean, there might be some other ones in there, but I mean, think about it. He flipped. I mean, he got AJ Brown.
Yeah, they did get it. Yeah,
Johnson. Like he's been making moves left and right, and killing it.
A steal for CD Deuce. Not even a first for CD Deuce. Like,
I mean, to me, that just lets you know, hey, they trying to make a Super Bowl run. And that's just my opinion on it.
Yeah, I'll add to it. Teams are looking at what the Rams have been doing. It's literally a lot of them GMs, a lot of those, VP of football operations, fuck them picks. It's like,
I don't think the Eagles. I don't think the Eagles fit in that category because they have 6 draft picks next season, including 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, I think that there might be like a healthy balance. Though.
Yeah. They found the middle ground. That's a great point.
Like. That's a good point, Jim, that, they got the picks, but they also got a loaded team. So it's like.
Right.
I mean.
If they win the Super Bowl, they're going to be picking top 10.
Top 10.
At 32.
32, yeah.
Like.
Yeah. I'll say this. As talented as the Eagles are, I'm going to say this. quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts really don't do well in the postseason.
That's
I don't know why that is.
That's fair.
Like why is Lamar Jackson like 1-3 when Lamar Jackson's talent and his high flying rushing ability should propel you to the championship game or even the Super Bowl. So I think a lot of Eagles fans are like they riding high, they're riding that the hype train. Yeah, I would be too if my Steelers were 6-0. But I really think like they need to kind of slow down because they're gonna run into the 49ers with that offense. They're gonna run into the Rams with possibly Odell Beckham, if not somebody else that's a great asset.
Right.
So I think it's best to it's okay they can beat up on the Commanders and the Cowboys and the Giants who are 6-1 by the grace of God. But I think come playoff time, if even if they got that bye, the boys gonna get a rude awakening.
Yeah, I don't know. I think sometimes it's a lot of I don't know if it's more the coaches or if it's the players. Because we'll see teams that are like streaking throughout the entire season. They'll be streaking going into the playoffs. But as soon as they get in, they one and done.
One and done, yeah. And another thing, adding to the Eagles run a very simplistic offense. Like I was explaining to my brother, who will need to get on this show as well. Quez Watkins only plays like 40-50% of the snaps. My brother was like, why is that? I said, well, Dev, the Eagles don't run a lot of 3-man formations. It's literally Devonta Smith on one side, A.J. Brown on the other, Goddard on his left, yep, and Miles in the backfield. And they scoring, they putting up points.
They literally they run single back out of the shotgun formation.
Yeah, they run. Yeah, exactly. It's like I couldn't tell you who's the next receiver after Quez Watkins. Like, man, I couldn't even tell you. So it's I think it's down to coaching, and I think it's a combo of them finally being all in on the Hurts train. I think that's they're making these moves because they're like, all right, ooh, man, we don't have to go get Nick Foles again, or we don't have to go get Mr. Trubisky, from the Steelers. They're like, okay, look, I think we got something with this Hurts kid finally. Let's give him the talent he needs to propel us to the championship game or a Super Bowl.
How much do you think their experience last year losing to Tampa will help them this year? Because they went last year. They got to see what it was like. Now they got dragged, but they were there. They got that experience. How much does that help?
I think it helps a lot, honestly. Especially, losing to that team in particular. You know what I mean? Losing to a team with a great defense. Obviously, that offense they had last year wasn't the same offense they have this year. I think it's something for them to build on. To say, hey, look how far we made it, and we didn't even know what we were doing. Now we actually know how to make this thing cook. Who do we look at and say, all right, who are we scared of to play? I could honestly say last season, nobody wants to say it, but the Eagles probably knew going into that game they wasn't coming out victorious. Now 100%. They can actually go into the playoffs and be like, who the hell gonna beat us? Who should we lose to? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think them having that attitude is gonna help them a lot.
And let's be honest, I'll add this too. It's gonna be hard to win in that stadium too in January and in the divisional round, because them fans are something else, and that environment is something else. And if you a team like Tampa that somehow makes it to the divisional round, you're not used to that kind of weather, that kind of environment. When the last time Tom Brady played a playoff game on the road? Think about that. It's been quite a while.
In a little minute.
Yeah, so the Eagles are set up for success, man, but they can't. You can't do like the Steelers did a few years ago when we were 11-0, and Mike Tomlin was on national TV talking about the Jaguars and not talking about the Patriots, and we get smacked in the mouth by the Patriots, and then we go get smacked in the mouth by the Jaguars, and then we drop a game to the Browns, and then we get destroyed by the Kansas City, and next thing you know, we're 11-5 in the playoffs, and then we get bounced by our division rivals. So
That's real. Let me play devil's advocate. So let's say we get to the playoffs. Eagles are there. Obviously, they'll have probably 9 times out of 10 have a first round bye. Let's say they meet up with the Vikings. Who do you see coming out of that game? Because I think the Vikings match up really well against the Eagles.
They definitely do. And I think them getting smacked earlier this season will definitely help them because they're like, okay, let's look at the film. Here's where we messed up last time. We didn't move Justin Jefferson around. We just kept him on Slay Island. Like, how do we get him involved? And if Slay's locking up JJ, how do we get Jalen Reagor involved? How do we get Adam Thielen involved? Do we just do like when we played the Saints and just run the hell out the ball and kill the clock? Run some ball control bullshit, as I like to call it. So I think, the Eagles beat them earlier this season, but, there's been many cases where a team loses in the regular season and then goes play them in the playoffs and beat their tail. So you never know.
Facts.
I'll
it also depends on when Kirk Cousins shows up.
Yeah, that's I'm not trusting Kirk Cousins in primetime, especially a primetime playoff game. He's been horrific in primetime scenarios, especially Monday nights. So, if the Vikings, do meet Philadelphia down the road in the playoff games, what are you going to get out of him? I mean, because you could blink and it'd be, you could blink and AJ Brown has 2 touchdowns and it's 14-0.
Facts in the first quarter.
that scripts out your elite running back, Dalvin Cook. So now you have to throw the ball, 30, 40 times, How are you gonna implement? How are you gonna scheme around Slay? How are you gonna get Dallas Goedert involved?
That's facts.
How are you gonna get Miles Sanders going? And it's strange to me that people want to see like Kareem Hunt go to the Eagles, and it's like Miles Sanders is having a phenomenal season like he had 2 years ago.
Yes, Lord.
The disrespect it's perplexing, man. I don't know.
I picked him up in fantasy, and I didn't know what I was gonna get, but dude, he's killing it.
I avoided him. I avoided him and Josh Jacobs, and I'm just sitting here like, man, what was I thinking?
Hey, bro, I gotta bring this up because our friend Shannon just posted this in one of our chats. Breaking news: after making an attempt to trade for Christian McCaffrey, the Eagles have had talk for 5-time Pro Bowler Alvin Kamara. Dude,
what?
That's breaking?
Dude, yes, it is, bro.
Man, who tweeted that? Ian Rapidoc? Not Rappaport, Rapidoc. Who tweeted that?
Twitter account is ML Football. That's
MILF
the name.
Football, independent NFL reporter.
Okay, so if you're gonna trade me Kamara, I need a haul. You already got me for CD Deuce. You not get me for Kamara.
At this point, give me my first back.
Right.
And maybe something.
No. You need to come with it. Nah. Give me Brandon Graham or Fletcher Cox while you at it. They old and that experience. You'll need that experience once you find Cam Jordan's replacement in 2 or 3 drafts. Oh man, come on, Eagles! Come on, Saints! Man, look, I need a first round.
If we trade Kamara, I don't know where my mental state would be.
Well, look, if you trade Kamara and get your first round back, if Kareem Hunt is only going for a 4th,
let's be fair. When healthy, Kamara is like a top 5 back.
100%.
Absolutely,
100%.
Absolutely.
He's not better than CMC. He's like right there,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, look at what CMC went for. That's got to be like the
baseline
starting point, right? Like even if it's not a first, but you get, what was it, a second, a third, a fourth, a fifth, then y'all get picked the following year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So shit, if
I think it might be fake. Because, if you're the Eagles, you think about all the talent you have and the pick you just gave up, 4th round. Let's be realistic. We know a lot of players that have went in the 4th round and have gone on to be Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're in the Eagles position, you have Miles Sanders. Why give up that much to go get Alvin Kamara when you can just give up another fourth
Kamara
round,
though.
a Kamara. But I'm serious, like
Yeah.
Kareem Hunt is
Kamara,
there.
you can line him up in the slot. You could put him and Miles Sanders on the field at the same time. That just opens up everything. Dre was just talking about how they run in a simple offense. You throw Kamara in there, you don't know what the hell's going to happen now. Because
Man, like,
I wouldn't do
Kamara
it.
can run and catch. Miles Sanders can run and
yeah, I'm
catch.
not.
This might
Yeah,
sound
cause you.
crazy. This might sound crazy, but like when you was a kid and you would eat and then you would try to eat again, but you couldn't finish your food, and your parents would be
Right.
like, "Your eyes bigger than your stomach." I feel like the Eagles are treading with that real quick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
They
I
got to
get
that
what
point.
you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, like we were saying, hey man, look, fuck them picks, dog. You got it, man. If you gonna give me Kamara, hey, we'll give you your first round back. Give us, yeah, we'll give you your first round back. Take it. Now they got Kamara, who's still young, but on the flip side of that, if I'm the Saints, I wouldn't want to do that because eventually you're gonna need a weapon that'll ease in your young quarterback you're going to draft in the next few years.
That's right.
Kamara is still relatively young, and quarterbacks who have stability in their checkdowns perform well. My point to that is Trevor Lawrence didn't have that last year. James Robinson was, ETN never seen the field.
Yeah, he was hurt last year.
He didn't have, their tight end was, almost Tim Tebow 1 point. So when you don't have that stability in the backfield for a young quarterback you're going to draft that's going to be your future, he going to pay. And I think the Saints don't want to do that. I wouldn't give up Kamara. I mean, he's a cornerstone. He's like, when Drew Brees left, it's like, I've never seen so many, Laborde Earl commercials with Kamara on it before he, he's the face of the franchise. And like, and to send him to a conference, enemy is like,
Mickey Loomis has a love relationship with Howie Roseman because I mean he keeps just letting him get fleeced.
They might be swingers.
Yeah.
They might be swingers or something.
I mean, I don't know. Yeah, they might. Yeah, I agree, man. Because it's still, I'm not I root for the Saints because that's the state team. But it pains me to see CD Deuce catch interceptions in that uniform and he not on the Saints. It's like,
and folks were saying like, oh well, we still deep in the secondary. And I told y'all this when we traded him. I said CD got that dog in him, man, and you can't coach that.
Right.
He got that ability when he on the field. That shit feeds off of the other teammates, man. And him not being on the field right now, you can see like the defense don't look the same.
Yeah,
Correct.
you can see. You can see like he was definitely a leader, and it's kind of strange we don't see that from Marshawn Lattimore, even though he's hurt. They showed Marshawn Lattimore during the game, and he wasn't even around the defense. He was just standing on the sideline by Dennis Allen. It's like, man, if you're a leader of this defense, you got to have some fire. You got some passion. You got to have that dog in you, and that's what CD brings to the table. And the crazy part is, he's not even the alpha in that secondary. It's all Slay's world, and that just makes it worse, man. Like man, every time I see him in that uniform, it's like, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's definitely a tough one. That's definitely a tough one, man. We're coming down to the end of the show, but there's one more thing I want to talk about, and I want to stay on the Saints. It looks like the Saints are going with Dalton this weekend, even though Jameis Winston's healthy. How you feel about that, E?
So there's two sides of this, right? You sign Winston to a 2-year contract. Now Dalton on a 1-year contract is the starter. How does that work next year? Do you keep Winston? Do you now trade him? Do you now cut him? Like, what does that relationship look like now? Number two, Andy Dalton hasn't played bad. Like, Thursday night, I thought he played a good game besides – now, out of the 3 picks he threw, one of them was 100% his fault. Terrible throw. Shouldn't have thrown it. But the other two, what was a deflection, and the other one, Callaway just dropped it and it went the other way. I mean, he hasn't lost us any games, but I don't think he's been great enough to win us any games either. I just think it's just not a great look right now because you gave Winston that 2-year deal. You basically said, hey, he's our starter. Andy Dalton's going to come in and be the insurance. And now you're saying Dalton's the starter. Winston's healthy enough. You know, it is what it is.
This might sound crazy, but it's just as egregious as Bailey Zappi being brought in and benching Mac Jones.
Right. But with the Zappy thing, and you know, I know we got Dre here for the hot takes, but Zappy's played a lot better than Mac Jones. And I don't know if it's because Mac Jones been hurt. I don't know if it's, you know, what his mental's looking like. Because I mean, you know, he got hurt. He saw this other guy come in. You know, that can kind of mess with you sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But Zapp has looked good. I mean, now Monday night he didn't, but up to that point, he looked good. I think the only thing that we sometimes fall in love with too much is that, oh, well, Mac Jones was a first-round pick. Well, if he's not playing like a first-round pick, you don't look good. It's okay if you go to the fourth-round pick. You know, sometimes we look at draft position too much, and it's like, you know, hell, this is the NFL. You know, just like a five-star recruit is highly recruited, and if he plays like trash, he transfers or you never hear from him again. You know, same thing in the NFL. Like,
it is what it is.
It is what it is, right? But, you know, I'm interested to, you know, hear y'all thoughts about it as well. Just not, you know, being fans per se, but just from the outside looking in.
Oh, I don't care. Dre, you can go. I don't care.
What are you talking about? What, Bailey Zappi?
Him and Winston. I don't care. You know I'm a Panthers fan, but I don't care.
I know.
You know, one thing about Belichick, he don't care about
we talking
people.
about Dalton and Winston.
Dalton and Winston. Yeah. One thing I mean, yeah, you sign Winston, you know, and now if he's hurt, I mean, because a fractured back sounds, I mean, like when I heard he had fractured his back, I thought he was going to be on IR for the season. But you know, it's only been 4 weeks. I think if you sign him, for 2 years, I think you got to play him. But on the flip side of that, Andy Dalton ain't exactly losing games, but he ain't exactly winning. It's like he's like an above average game manager because game managers like Marcus Mariota can't throw the ball 40 yards to Olave. It'll be going to the he'll be trying to tackle the defender to stop a pick six. It's and you don't want to start two quarterbacks because, you know, if you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one quarterback.
Thanks.
And, you know, I think you got to start Winston. If Winston's healthy, you got to start him. He hasn't performed well for the simple fact he hasn't been healthy. A healthy Jameis Winston, you know, last year was 5-2, you know, balling. You know, if he gets back to that, I mean, and you get Mike Thomas back, and you get Jarvis Landry back. Olave is a stud, bona fide stud. You know, you got Taysom in there with the unpredictability. He could throw the ball or he could take one, 40 yards. The Saints should be okay. Like, I think if the Saints get healthy, I think they can steal this division. I really think that because the Bucs are a mess. The Panthers look good with PJ Walker, but I mean, their roster is getting depleted by the day.
To Dre's point, though, like 8-9 could really win this division.
Facts.
Like, yeah.
Even the division is under 500.
Yeah, and then Arthur Smith, their coach, was down by 21 points, and he ran the ball 34 times. Mariota only threw a pass once in the fourth quarter. Like, this division is wide open, but it's wide open for the Saints to do their thing if they get healthy and hot at the right time.
I mean, at this point, we ain't got our first round pick, so we got to try to make the playoffs.
Yeah, man, boy. Yeah, you do not want the Eagles winning a Super Bowl and then picking the first overall, picking picking B-Rod from Texas. Like, whoo, God,
Right.
like,
That's real. That's
yeah,
real. Man, well, shit. Hey, this was a great show, Dre. We appreciate you coming on. Hopefully, we can have you on more.
Thank you, fellas.
It was a
Thank
pleasure
you.
to have you, bro. Hey, this is gonna do it for the show today. We'll catch y'all in the next one. We got out.
Peace.